Alrighty, y'all, welcome to Ellis Mowers. We are on part 2 of this John Deere 125 riding mower lawn tractor. Part 1. What do we do in part 1? Well, we made sure that it would run and that it would cut, basically. We also fixed the steering on it because the toe was out a little bit. I bent the left side rod back in, so now it's tracking much straighter. And I also tightened up a couple steering components. Also fixed the park brake switch because the park brake switch was a little bit bent, and so we did that as well. Did a little zip tie deal, and so it's working beautifully now. Let me show you, because I told y'all I left off part 1 knowing that I was getting fire and the plug was also wet. So the plug is, I don't know if y'all can see that, but the plug, it smells like gas and it's wet. Y'all don't have philo-vision, but what I did is I took the plug out and I turned the mower on. Let me get y'all a tripod here, because you should feel like a nice little intake or some sort of intake type whoosh from the spark plug hole whenever you take it out, part of the intake stroke and the exhaust stroke of the engine. So I did this, came over here, tried to crank it. Like I'm putting my I have my finger completely in the hole, and usually you're supposed to have some sort of resistance and air coming out. And it ain't doing nothing. So the next order of business we're going to do, we're going to take this vacuum line off of the valve cover, if I can get it off. It's a shame because I just had it. No, this is another overhead valve that I had off. So let me actually take the 10 mil ratchet here, impact driver, the 10 mil impact driver, get this fuel line out of the way, and we're going to take this valve cover off and we're going to see what the deal is, because I hope half of them, or I hope this side of the motor's not throwing a rod or something. I know that these are known to have head gasket issues too, so it could be that. We'll investigate and see what we got. So the reason why, if you didn't watch part 1, this thing's only running on one cylinder. It's only running on that cylinder over there. So it's a compression issue from what we can tell. Just looking at it. Sticking my finger in the spark plug hole and not getting any air pushing out of it. So I'm hoping I don't find a bent rod or anything up in here. Best case scenario is that the rod slipped off at the valve guide. But who knows? Let's do it off real quick. Rag and pop up under here. I'm sure it'll spill a little oil out. This motor looks clean though, so I'm kind of wondering. If it's just because it's not getting compression. We know it's getting fuel and fire, so. Didn't really do a good job there, keeping that off. Let's see what we got going on here. Huh. Valves are moving. Valves are moving on it. But we're not getting any compression. I'm getting my feeler gauges out, I guess. But they feel tight. Valves feel good. Makes me think that it's a head gasket. But it wasn't pouring out. It wasn't like pouring out white smoke or anything, so that's kind of got me puzzled too. I guess it's just simply not firing. Because if I go over here, I'll confirm that this is the issue. Hopefully. I hope I'm on the right track over here. Yeah, this plug's clean, so. Yeah, so let's get no compression on that cylinder. Alright, like it's strong on that side, just real strong, but I do this over here, and it ain't nothing. So, valves are moving. So it's one of two things. It's a pop valve seat, which I would think if it was a pop valve seat, I'd hear it backfiring. Or it's a blown head gasket. So I'm leaning toward the head gasket. I hope it's not a head gasket, because that means I gotta wait on parts. Alright. Let's dive into this a little more here. Over there. Fuel pump. Take that off. Pretty sure this engine cover's got to come off. Yeah. It's got one of those. They marketed them on the Craftsman's as turbo cool, but it's got that type of shroud on it, so I've got to take the shroud off first. Take these 10 mils off, lift this engine cover off. I probably got to take this shroud off here too, this heat shroud. And we'll tear into it, see what we got. Alright, so I haven't really done too much more except take the 5/16 inch bolts off of the little shroud here, and then you can just lift up the cover. You unscrewed the two bottom bolts of the air cleaner, which are held on right here at the intake. It's always a good idea to block the intake too. I haven't done that quite yet. And I also took the little 10 piece off. So it's just held on by some 10 mil bolts and then a 5/16 on the bottom. And so now we're at the head. So it looks like these are either half or 9/16. I'll have to grab, I think they're halves. So it looks like I've got head bolts right here, right here, right here. I'm sure there's one or two under the bottom as well. And it looks like I have to take off the ground here, which is a 5/16. I have to take off these 3/8 inch bolts for the intake here. Just make sure you don't lose your gasket. 3/8 right there. Let's see if there's a head bolt under here. That might be the only other head bolt. There might be one behind the exhaust, which is going to be some Allens. Just have to take that off and take it down. Hopefully there's not, because I don't think there is. So, I think it's those bolts. Oh, got one right in between the two valves right there too. So, I think that's all of them. I'm going to work on that off camera loosening bolts, use an impact driver. For the intake, use just a ratchet and socket. So I'll go ahead and do that. We'll get the head off. I am almost confident this thing needs a head gasket because it's not getting any compression. The valves are moving, which makes me think that the connecting rod is good. And I don't hear any odd noises inside the motor, so I think we're going to be ordering a head gasket. I've got a mower shop up the street. You can see it's been pushing oil a little bit too. It looks like on this side, well, on both sides it got a little build up, but we'll check the head gasket on this, and likely we're going to need one. So let me go ahead and do all that work, and we'll check the gasket whenever I get everything off here. Alrighty, y'all, no other surprises than what I mentioned, and no extra bolts. The hardest thing about it is just getting the exhaust bolts up under there, which is still accessible by an Allen. You just are not able to get a lot of turns on it. Oil looked a little watery when I initially popped this head open. Let's see what we got. Alright, here we go. Okay. Oh boy, the prognosis is not good, y'all. She's got a blown connecting rod. Oh boy. Okay. This one will not be worked on for a little while. Runs good on one cylinder. Oh man, I did not want to see that. Did not want to see that. Alrighty, y'all. So man, this is worst case scenario, guys. Do I try and throw a connecting rod on it with the hopes of that fixing the issue? You can see it looks like chocolate milk right here. I guess I'll tear apart the motor and see what we got. I don't know, guys. We're going to find out. Either way, it's probably going to be a few months, but I'm going to park this bad boy outside for right now, because it ain't going to be worked on for a little while. We'll see. I just kind of am going to hold off on this for right now. I'm going to pop the head bolts back on it. The rods look good. The rods look good on it, so that tells me that it just threw a connecting rod. Which, I mean, isn't the worst thing in the world. I've just never done one of these before on one of these motors, so oh boy, this is going to be fun. Well, I tell you what, here's what we're going to do. Just so y'all have content, we'll revisit this at one point. But for right now, I'm going to end part 2. This will be to be continued months down the road here, whenever I can get caught up on stuff and whenever I have the desire to work on it. If I even want to work on it, or if I just want to sell it off like it is. I'll let y'all know in an update video. But until then, I'll catch y'all in the next one. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, at Ellis Mowers 09, that's where you're going to find me. for real-time updates, and also little unfortunate snafus like this too. I'll catch y'all in the next video. This ain't much of a loss because, like I told you, I got what I wanted for the Craftsman, and so I'm basically in this thing nothing. I haven't put any money forth towards it or anything like that. Head gasket looked good. I was really hoping it was a head gasket, but it's worst case scenario, guys. It's the connecting rod. So we'll catch you on the next video. We'll see what we do with this on down the road, but I can tell you for one thing, with all the mowers I've got working on, you're not going to see it for a while. But I'll catch y'all then.